history other than the cave paintings and etchings that they made to record their past.
Based on strong spiritual ties which link them to the ancient land, it is believed that people are born of the spirit which inhabits the land, and on dying, return to the soil to be reborn.
For the white settlement, most of the land was occupied. Although their cultural language patterns differed, 600 or more tribes existed in comparative harmony.
Tribal elders, because of their wisdom, upheld the laws. Their economy was based on relentless daily activities of hunting, fishing, and seed gathering. Drought and famine were interpreted to mean the gods were displeased and that man had to make amends.
Aboriginal society was a creative one. Art, music, song, and dance were integrated into both daily routines and spiritual rituals.
As the Aboriginal confronted the European settlers, the whole fabric of the fragile society was shaken.
Foods that were harmful to the Aboriginals were brought. Flour, tea, tobacco, alcohol, animals, and agriculture were introduced, leading to obesity and alcoholism that has continued through the generations.
New animal and plant species were the cause of extinction and near extinction of many native species. The balance of the land and environment was lost, and particularly once trees clearing started and agriculture began.
Later on, the Aboriginal children were taken from their families. They believed that Aboriginals were incapable of raising their children properly.
Children were taught to be white, but of 10 were treated badly and a little less than servants. This led to the loss of Aboriginal culture, languages, and traditions were lost.
As the children gradually forgot everything that they had been brought up to believe and lacked contact with their tribal elders to reinforce the knowledge and pass it down to their own children.
Statistically, Indigenous people have poorer health, educational opportunities, life expectancy, employment options, and many live in very remote areas. Along with these issues, many still have to deal with negative social attitudes.
Today, the issue of land ownership is still an important one. Ancestral land is still a vital element in maintaining Indigenous culture. Indigenous groups that want to make a land claim face great challenges.
Research always concludes that Indigenous people have the worst health status and highest mortality, death rates. Since the European introduction of disease to Australia, the Indigenous population has suffered greatly in terms of health. Remoteness, lack of trust, and negative social attitudes are some of the reasons some actions have been taken, and community-controlled health services are supplied by it, but a lot still needs to be done.
Indigenous people have the lowest statistics, attendance, retention, continuing their education when compared to other groups in Australia.
Major concerns are low retention rates and high rate of absences. There are also negative views from older Indigenous people who are wary of European education due to their own past experiences.
Initiatives have been implemented, but there is still a great deal that can be done.
One of the major challenges that unfortunately still faces the Indigenous community are the negative social attitudes. Much has been done recently to create an understanding amongst non-Indigenous people and their past and how it still affects them.
Reconciliation has become important in creating better understanding and building stronger relationships within the whole community.
Okay, go.
What is imperialism? Imperialism is a policy of extending a large and powerful country's power and influence.
How was your case study an example of imperialism? European settlers took over Australia and forced Indigenous peoples to conform to their way of living.